If I had one word to describe unpacking, I would say life-changing.
I can tell you that my life is changed.
I speak for the entire team at Rich Rapport when I say that we are all changed because of this. And I just have to give her the biggest virtual hug shout out of all time.
Oh, Kristina, thank you so much for creating and leading Unpacking. You are just absolutely an amazing person overall, and anybody that comes across this training will feel the same way I feel. Almost anybody will feel who has experienced this. This is a training like no other.
Unpacking's training has been one of the most impactful and thought-provoking trainings I've done in a lot of years in my career.
Had Kristina Williams as our keynote speaker, and she was incredible. Before she came on stage, we spent a couple of hours talking with DEI leaders about diversity, equity, inclusion, and how we can use leverage workplace mentorship to advance our objectives. And then Kristina came in here and stole the show.
Kristina is such a force. She's poured her whole heart and soul into this training, and it really shows.
I found Kristina to be approachable, intellectual, objective, and bold as a guide through Unpacking. She really made learning the hard truth fun.
Kristina also managed to make this space where we're being vulnerable and discussing difficult topics, difficult history. She made it so safe, and she made this work fun and joyful, and that is very unique, and I think that is a really great aspect of Unpacking.
Unpacking was a natural fit. We actually came to Kristina and her organization through someone who had previous experience with her, and we just recently brought her in to run a boot camp at our international conference. And it was fantastic.
Kristina as a facilitator is absolutely amazing. There's so much compassion, and the environment is so safe that just the things that you feel happen just out of that sense of safety are just incredible.
Kristina did an awesome job of creating a safe space where I could bring my authentic self to the program, and where she could take 10 strangers and turn us into friends in 4 short days.
From the first day, my cohort was welcomed into an open, safe space where we were able to authentically be ourselves. I am a huge introvert, so talking sometimes in front of other people can be hard for me, but I was a part of a cohort of people where everybody was able to share their personal stories, which actually encouraged me to share my own.
People felt vulnerable, felt empowered to bring that vulnerability and those vulnerable stories, to the group. And I learned so much from the fellow folks in my cohort, and I am so grateful for that safe sharing space.
I infinitely appreciate everyone who was part of my group and them sharing their stories. They make me feel empowered to also be confident in sharing my own, but also asking questions and being curious about their own or different ways of seeing the world.
That care made me feel so good, so loved, so welcomed, and there are no real words. I am very grateful to have been able to have a part in a program such as this.
Kristina, from the very beginning, made such an amazing effort to create a vulnerable learning experience for everybody, and the entire cohort really came together for such an honest experience, and we were able to really soak up so much knowledge in such a quick amount of time.
One thing that really spoke to me and kind of continued to surprise me and delight me throughout the process of Unpacking was the quality of the people included and participating, the quality of design throughout the process, the way that we were delivered content.
And I walked out of Unpacking with new awareness, new frames of thinking, new actions, a new game plan, and a new network of like-minded relationships.
And that brings me to the other great part of the training, which was learning about futurist thinking. And this was such a great way to understand again how history, context, and the trends of today will shape tomorrow and how we can impact that.
The concept of futurist thinking was a highlight for me because I think individuals and companies alike can benefit from it, and when creating a framework for their lifestyles or perhaps their projects or products.
Because of the gamification of the platform and the training, we were not only taught at, but we were talked with, which is something that's baked in and very unique to Unpacking. And so that, along with the quality content, was really refreshing.
The gamification of it makes it engaging. You're able to really, it's a good mix of self-paced and group work, and it's just planned so thoughtfully and artfully. And I just had a great experience.
It was balanced between self-paced learning as well as classroom time, and then actually giving us an opportunity to put the things we'd learned into practice with real life scenarios.
It was exactly what we were looking for, a way to start and engage those within our industry into the why that this work is important. And that goes from everything from design to communication to staff.
And talk to us about like really concrete ideas about diversity, equity, and inclusion, and that we all need to know in order to work together to move forward. And then some really incredible concepts that we can use to think about the future of work and how we can create more equitable, inclusive organizations. And it was such an amazing experience. She makes it so accessible and light and fun, and is super engaging and on point.
She is a saint, and I can't thank her enough for her work. It is the most important work ever to come to companies and to teach them about these things. Knowledge is power, and for us to be armed with the actual facts of history and how we got to the place we are today is absolutely necessary for us to be better allies and for us to diversify all major areas of commerce and business and everything.
Being an educator myself, and it's not just the knowledge that you acquire. There's something about this that's so experiential, which makes it so beautiful. And the reason why this is so effective and impactful is because the design of it's meant to be that way. It's very clever and thought out, intentional.
This is literally a training where you are learning, literally learning. You're coming in learning stuff that you most likely have never learned before, but it makes you want to take the knowledge and pass it on to others.
And that's important. I appreciate that because social consciousness has, as a subject matter, can be touch and go for some people. She's very patient with us through the process and emotionally aware, of possible triggers that people have. And she leveraged disclaimers and call outs through each engagement so that we could all feel safe, brave, and included. That's missing from a lot of classrooms and trainings today.
Not knowing how such a sensitive subject would land with our very diverse and distributed team. And I was so pleasantly surprised. Kristina's open and warm approach just made it possible for our group to arrive with curiosity, and we were able to have conversations about some really tough subjects and some really important issues. And we were able to do it authentically and openly.
What this particular program gave me an opportunity to do was have conversations with allies and to understand that not everyone's the enemy. And when I know more about myself, I can do better by my community.
It was enjoyable. We were engaged. We were able to communicate to people and create an environment that brought understanding and allowed people to truly hear one another.
I engaged with individuals from all walks of life. We learned from one another, we really heard each other, and we made action plans regarding how we can contribute and make an impact.
The tools that I learned and the safe environment and the compassionate, joyous environment that Unpacking creates as you work through the cohort makes you feel all the more powerful to speak up and use your voice. And it challenged me to have conversations that I knew I wanted to have with friends and family, and I just didn't know how to go about them. And I know now not only can I have them, but I can keep having them and keep doing the work daily and keep showing up.
For me, taking these experiences and these perspectives that were new to me and new to my fellow cohort members and turn them into daily practices. And now I've come out of this with a fresh perspective.
Overall, I found this very invaluable, and I plan to have my leadership teams attend an unpacking training here in the near future. I want them to better understand how, as a company, we can use our platform and our business capital to help create change in the world we live in.
I can hands down tell you that this experience was the absolute best in this work that I've ever had.
And I got an overwhelming amount of feedback that it was the best team building exercise that many of our crew had ever attended.
So the Unpacking training is 100% the most important coursework I have taken in my adult life.
Unpacking is a catalyzing kind of microcosm of your organization, of your team, and of really the world. So it creates this kind of insulated, safe space for you to learn, for you to express yourself.
If you're having trouble speaking about things and understanding the world around you and how to talk about it without getting angry first, like me, I definitely recommend that you take a part of this because there's nothing like it.
The content is fresh, the platform is interactive, and you won't be sorry.
This course should be standard for every company, especially those that are trying to be allies. You know, teaching us how to talk to people with different views on things. It's just the most important work. I cannot thank her enough. As a company, we can't wait to go further into our training and to do this again. So please, 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 everybody tell everybody to take this Unpacking course.
We look forward to continuing to work with Unpacking and Kristina to help us build that into the culture of our industry. And so, you know, when we look back 10 years from now, we're not having these same conversations about where we are and where instead of where we'd like to be.
I was a part of a cohort of people where we were hungry for more. We wanted to learn more. We wanted to grow more. I think like we basically all had some type of DE&I experience, and we all have done our own research, and we were all wanted to continue fighting the good fight. But coming into this training, we were like, dang, okay, we got more work to do.
At the completion of Unpacking, there was absolutely a wave of community and warmth and a sense that I had become a part of something and a group of people that were ahead of the curve and dedicated to something larger than themselves. Unpacking was definitely an investment that I made in myself as a brand new founder, something that I would recommend to anyone who's going to be a business owner or a founder or kind of a leader in the business world in any way.
Apply for this program, follow Unpacking online, follow Kristina. It really is life-changing, and I could not recommend it enough to anyone.